So, good evening, everyone. Let's start the session today. This is week 7 of the live interactive session of the Joy of Computing using Python. I'm Vikas, PhD scholar in IDRP Space Science and Technology at IIT Jodhpur. These are some details about me. As we have already done this previously also, and this is the meet link for the session, which and generally it is scheduled on Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And all the recording of these sessions are available at on the YouTube channel provided here. For details and like for further discussion, you can even join the Google Classroom I have created, where you can discuss your questions amongst yourself and with me also. And you can even write to me on the email. Okay, so before going towards problems, if you people have any doubt regarding the topics covered in this week, you can ask. Hello, anyone? Please respond because the whole purpose is interaction, not
Yes, sir.
just being them. Yes, yes, Saraj. So, anyone having any doubts or any thing you want that something should be clarified or some topic has to be covered, we can. Okay. So, if no doubts, let's come to question one. The value of CSV files. Remember, in this week, we have learned something about CSV files. Okay. Previously, we have even done file handling. Okay. Now we are into creating files and this thing, storing them, and we are storing and reading files called as CSV file .csv files. So in this, the values, like if we are writing something like 45, 26, 39, okay, like that. So how are they separated by anyone?
Comma.
Commas. Great. Anyone with some other idea about this?
Commas.
Commas. Okay. Right. And in fact, if you see its full form, it is called as comma separated values. CSV's full form is well. Okay. So here the values are separated by commas, and it is quite easy to read by softwares because there the standard is one value followed by another comma, then another value, then comma. And so to extract some values, it is very easy from there. And this is generally for data, large amount of data where we can take it and we have to put it in something looking like an Excel. Okay, clear? So the correct answer is comma. Now let's come to the second problem. What will be the output of the following code? The code looks like, in fact, we are here defining a function called spiral. And from line 27 onwards, we are creating a matrix in which we are then defining how many row and column numbers, number of rows and columns are there. And then we are running this function. Okay. So can anyone understand this code? Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. I will try.
Yeah. So it is like, first we are defining the function. We have two variables. And remember, someone asked me earlier that can we write uh, two lines of code in uh, a single line in Python, two codes. And you see here, two variables are defined in one single line, and they are separated using semicolon here. So if you, in case you have to write multiple codes in one line, you can separate it using semicolon. So first one is this. Then we are running this while loop. Anyone uh, can try to explain or understand it? Please speak. Hello. Don't be
Yes,
shy.
sir.
Even if you are wrong, it's not an issue. Yeah. Anyone?
Sir, please wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
In the first for loop, it will print the elements of the first column.
First column, good. So in this loop, from six, in line 6 and 7, it is printing first
First
column. Yes. Okay, first column will be for this matrix 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What will
159. 159.
159? Okay. So this is fine. Okay. Next,
Then it will go to next column. This
next
column start equal to column start plus 1 will go to
plus
next
one.
column.
Yes, this is next column. Fine. Good. Then
Then it will next for loop it will print
Sir, then it will
last,
print 10 or 11.
10 and 11. That is the remaining
last
part of the last row or column.
Yes, sir.
Row.
last row.
Row. Okay. So we can say it as last row. Then we are decreasing the row, right? Then what is happening? The row value itself is decreased. See here, there is a difference between the column start and row start. Okay. This is column start value and this is row value. Like this is the value that was given by the user. Like this line 31 and 32,
Number
what
of
we have
rows.
to.
Row is
Yeah,
number of rows.
yeah, total number of rows. And row start is from where we will start printing, or column start is from where we will start printing. Okay. So what is being done next? So we have covered this and then this.
Sir, then 7 and 3 will be printed.
7 and 3 will be printed. Okay. In this line, right?
So then 2 and 6.
Okay. Then 2 and 6. Let me use this. So ideally it should be printing something like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Going inward.
The option C will
Okay.
be correct.
Option C is correct. Okay. Anyone else with some other answers? So let's try to check it. Okay. And understand the code. Oh. Just mhm, just let me reload it. Mm. Is it visible? Okay, I'm not sharing, right? Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the same program. I have changed the values here so that we can easily see. Okay. Same program. I will try to explain first, then we will run this code also. Row start and row column. These are being defined inside the function. So they are local variables which will remain there, remain inside the function only. Once the function call stops, these two variables will disappear. Okay. So they are assigned the value of 0 at begin. And it is saying while row start is less than row and column, these are two variables that are input from this the last line. We can, yeah, from the last line, that is line 34. Okay. In it, we are saying that we are giving row and column number, and in the definition of this spiral function itself, row, column, and array. Array is the value of the matrix itself. Okay. So while this row start is less than row and column start is less than column, this will run. So at first, obviously, it will be less than that because row start and column start at 0 and 0, and they will certainly be less than any matrix if it exists, even if it is of one number. Okay. So, and then in the loop for I in range, row start to row. That means we are starting from 0 till the row number. Like in this case, it will be 3. That means 0, 1, and 2. Remember, we have discussed that it will never go till the value itself since it is a range function. So then it is printing print array I, that is the row 0, that is 1. In this case, 1, and column start, that is 0, 1. Then the second value, that is 1, that is 1, like i's value will be 1, and column start, that is still 0, and that will print us as 45. Remember, we talked about two-dimensional list. This is like a two-dimensional. The matrix we are representing here as a two-dimensional list. So 1, 45, 9, like that. And similarly, in the next line, we are printing the lower limits, then upper limit, and this will continue even if we are going for a larger matrix. Here we are testing for 3 by 3 matrix only. So if we run this, you see what it is doing: 1, 45, 9, 10, 11, 7, 3, 23, 6. Now, if you try it with some bigger matrix, like, are you getting it? or there is some confusion in?
Yes, sir, got it.
Okay, fine. Now I am trying for a bigger matrix so that it is even clear to us. Okay, and then we are going for 4. Now you see 145, 9, 4, 56, 34, 11, 22, 31, 23, then 3 is missing. Okay, okay, this line itself is missing. Okay, no, it's there. 23, 3, then again 23. Okay, this is like, okay. And then 6, 10, 11, 7. So a circular pattern or spiral pattern, you can say, is working here. So what will be the correct answer? So if we are using our this one, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
As Suraj and Greshma has said, let's see they are correct or not. Okay. Okay. Since we have changed this 3. So it is 1, 4, 7, 8, 9, 6, 3, 2, 5, which is okay. It was 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it was not in. But the sequence, if we see, it is which one? 1, 5, 9, 10, 11, then 7. Okay, so C should be the correct answer, right? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so C is our correct answer. Now let's come to one very important thing which we have learned is the turtle library. Turtle library is something that is used to create graphics. In the previous class, once I was telling about many students when they are given to create some patterns like uh, pyramid on using stars or dots or this, they ask why this is required. What are we getting with these stars and all? So in the previous class also, as we were discussing, that actually the computer screen is made up of pixels, small dots. And if we make these patterns very close together, they will actually look like a full word, a letter, or a pattern. Okay, if they are very close together. And this is the concept behind all the graphics in a computer. Like previously, the computers were mostly text, and even the text itself is some kind of graphics. It is easier to generate the text since they are standard, and you can see that that is why the typing letters are quite straight. They have less curvature so that they can easily be generated. So, using this principle, there is a library called Turtle where some basic programs can be created, and you have learned that. But the problem is that we are using Google Colab or other Colab programs, okay? Colab or Jupyter Notebook, and you might not be able to run it like you run the Turtle library in normal VS Code or Spider ID. Anyone have tried this in Google Colab, Turtle library?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So in Google Colab, if you run it, you will not be able to run it directly. So the way to run it is use just before running the Turtle library, use this code exclamation mark pip3 install Colab Turtle C capital T capital. Okay, and then run it. You will see something like downloading Google Colab Turtle, and then it will be built and installed. In normal cases, Turtle library is installed by default. Okay, so what are the difference if you are using Google Colab and if you are on normal? mm, like there are small difference between Google Colab based turtle, this Colab turtle, and the normal turtle we are using. Okay, like here, if you are trying to make a square or star, you will have to write something like from Colab turtle, import turtle, and then we will initialize an object called turtle. Okay, and there should be no bracket. In our normal case, there will be the object will be initialized using bracket turtle bracket and s dot initialize turtle. Like this is an object which is initialized. So initialization resets it to center. So it will placed in the center of your screen. The whole screen, it will be in center. And then in a loop, what I'm doing is that moving it forward 100, then turning it right by 90 degree, then moving it again forward 100, like turning, moving, turning, moving, like that. Okay. Any confusion till here? Similarly, in this case also, the same thing is happening. Here I am taking an object A called turtle, initializing it and start making it at the center. This image has moved a bit, and then forwarding it 100, and then taking a right turn of 144 degree, and then again moving forward like that. Sorry, it has started from here, going forward 145 for 144, and then and at the last a dot hide turtle will hide it. So here you see in this case no turtle is visible at the end. This is very similar to the normal turtle. Okay, so now I have the problem based on turtle, and I have given both the versions. ID version that generally is used in case of spider and this, and the Colab version in which if someone is working on Google Colab or any other Jupyter one, they can see this also. So what will be the output of the following code? Import turtle, like here you can see the difference. Generally we are using import turtle. Okay, this is the way, not like from Colab turtle, import turtle. And the capitalization is also different. In case of our ID version, we directly write turtle, small t. And in case of collab, we have to put T capital. There are slight differences. According to your use, you can use. Okay. And in case, but in the next part, it becomes the same. Okay. In fact, you can even write here from turtle, you import turtle. Still it will work. Okay. Now, because turtle, capital T one is the object that we use in both the cases. Okay. And pen dot turtle dot turtle. So there, here we are creating an object pen that is a turtle. Turtle is simply, you can say, uh, this is since this library itself is called turtle. It is based on turtle, where it is something like a turtle moves and creates the pattern wherever it goes, and that pattern is made. That is, this will loop three times. Pen dot forward 60. That means whatever it is, wherever it is, it will move 60. Okay, and then take a right turn. That means from here it will move rightwards by 120 degrees. So this angle will be 120 degrees, and then it will again move 60. So what will be the output?
So I
Anyone?
think equilateral triangle.
Equilateral triangle. Okay. Anyone else?
Triangle.
Yeah, triangle is fine. All the options are triangle. Like what kind of triangle? Equilateral triangle. One person has said. Anyone else? Anyone? So let's go and run this. I think this will not work. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. We don't need to update. Okay. Yes, and there is one more difference in case of normal turtle library in ID and collab turtle. That is, we don't need to put turtle dot done. That is needed there, but here it is not. This one was the program for that. I think for this it will work directly. Since I have selected the ID. Okay, just then we can shift to collab. Any other answers to what we were doing there? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think the first option should be scalene triangle, not scalar triangle.
Yeah, it should be. Scalar, I think that option is a bit incorrect, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I'll correct it. Yeah, so we have already done this. And remember that this collector, since we are working on an online platform where it will be, where we will be assigned this resources every time. So whenever you want to run this on this notebook, you will have to install this Colab Turtle every time. This is a demerit of working on the cloud. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, if we run this one was for, you see, it is moving in a square. This one was the first one. Let me clear all the outputs. Okay. So the next one will make the star going upward. Done. Now comes our this one, the last one. This ID version we will not run. If we run here, it will give an error to us. Okay. This you can run if you are using a Spider. The Colab version, if we run, it is moving upward, and it is making an equilateral triangle. To see it more clearly, let's make it a bit larger. Okay. Okay. So what will be the answer? Equilateral triangle, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And yeah, it should be scalene triangle. Yes. Okay. Yeah, answer also I have put a scale. Yeah, scalar is different, right? Mm. So this should be C, not a scalar, equilateral triangle. Okay. Now next is write a program to draw a hexagon. Okay. So the program will be very similar, but there will be two different differences. One is the looping, other is the angle. So can anyone tell what will be the value for this in the for loop? What will be the range? Range, and the other
1
is
to 6 or 0 to 5.
1 to 6 or 0 to 5. Yeah. So what we can put here in for I in range, what value can we put?
6.
6. Okay. So if you put 6, it will be actually 0 to 5, right? And then we will move our turtle by how much value and uh, turn right or left, whatever we want. Let's put right. And what value will be here? Please don't be shy. Speak up. No need to feel shy. Even if you are wrong, it is fine. You will learn something. Anyone? Anyone, please?
Sir, 120.
Set right to 45 degree. Is
Right
that
to
right?
45 degree. Okay. And move, let's put 100 or 200, anything. Okay. So right by 45 degree. Just a yeah. So right by 45. And how are we
Sir, it will
calculating
rise
this
by
40?
120 degree.
120 degree. Okay. Any other angles?
60
240
degrees, sir.
degree.
60 degrees.
240
See,
degree.
240 degree. Okay. Then 240 degree, can we even write it? Uh, if we are going for 240 degree, actually it is almost equal to 240 minus 180, right? So what it will be? 60 degree only. Any other angles? And uh, why this angle? Why 45 or why 120? Why 160? How are we deciding this? See,
Sir,
in
from
case of
every point, if we turn right by 45 degree, then we can create a hexagon, I think, sir.
how,
The internal angle is 120 degree for a hexagon. So
yes,
360 degree minus 120 degree would be 240 degree.
240 degree. Okay. And so why don't we take 120 itself?
So then it should be left 120 degree. If it's right, then 240 degree.
Sir, it's a regular hexagon, so the interior angle will be 120 each.
120 each. Okay. So see, let's assume this is our turtle. Okay. It is moving forward till here. Okay. And next, this is the line of its general movement. And we want to create a line here that is of 120 degree. Okay. So if it is moving right, okay, since it is in this direction, if it is moving right, then we can say either it has to move left by this much or to the right, where it will again make 120 degree. So if it is moving right, let's assume, let's remove this. Okay. So if it is moving right, and then from the starting to this point, it has to have an angle of 120 degree. So what will be this moment?
60.
60. Okay. So let's try this.
And
And this has to be done 6 times, right? Okay, sorry, this ID version will not run. Okay, I will run this again. So it is going forward and running. Fine. Is this fine now? And see, there is a basic difference between uh, the one that we use in ID and one we are using here. In case of ID, the initial angle is in the horizontal direction. In this case, it is in the vertical direction. So your structure will be a bit moved, right? It will be moved by 90 degrees because in this case, it is moving vertical. At the beginning, it is in vertical direction. And here, the first one is a right movement. That is why the first angle is tilted, not straight. If we make it the opposite way, okay. So in this case, then you will see that actually it will move straight at first, then this movement will occur. So in both the cases also, there will be slight difference. Anyone with any other options like what you think is, no, there can be some other option which will be easier than this. Anyone? Okay, so let's go with this answer only. Okay, so if you are working on ID, this can be a correct option, or there you can put a slight difference of, instead of writing it like this, you can write from turtle import turtle T capital. Okay, in that case, you'll not need to write this turtle dot done. You can directly write like this, done, and then pen equals to turtle and then embed. Okay, it will work fine. Okay. Which of the following library used to render data on Google Maps? This has been covered, right? So anyone with
GMP.
answer? GMplot. C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other answers to this? This is right. GMplot is the library used for uh, plotting Google Maps. Now let's come to next question. That is, what will be the output of the following program? Import turtle, pen equals to turtle the turtle. So we are creating an object pen, and then we are doing these movements, and that also 3 times since we are putting range 3. Okay, moving right by 60, then forwarding 60, then pen up, then again right by 60, forwarding by 60, and then pen down. And then once this is done 3 times, turtle dot done. So what will be the output here? Anyone?
Sir, it will create a shape, hexagon shape without those vertical lines, I think.
Okay. Like
But only 3 times. So first,
like half of hexagon with like
yeah, half of hexagon.
alternate sides missing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So first is something like this, then this one will be missing, then this, like this you are saying,
This one. Yeah, yes, sir.
okay, and then this should be missing, then
Missing and that one. That's it, sir.
yeah. Okay, let's see. Any other structure someone can figure out?
Sir,
Let me
what is
ask
the
someone.
pin up and pin down function?
Yes, very good. So pen up and pen down are like something where you are, if let's see that I am writing, when I am putting the pen here, it is writing. Then I am taking the pen up, moving forward, and then putting my pen down, and then again continuing. So what is happening is that
Okay, sir,
a
understood.
movement will occur, but there will be no trace of what is being done. Okay. So pen up is like taking the pen up, and pen down is like putting the pen down again. Very similar to what we do with our pen. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's try the code for this. Okay. Not ID version, collab. Movement is there, but this uh, that part is not recorded. So this is like pen is lifted and pen is kept down. So very rightly said by Adil is that it is a hexagon with alternate sides missing, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, does the IDE version of importing a turtle works in collab or not, sir?
No, that is why I have just kept
Oh,
it
okay.
so that if someone is working with ID, they will
Oh,
also
okay, okay,
be
okay.
able to understand.
I got it. Yeah, I got it,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this collab version, actually, this information was not readily available because we mostly directly use Turtle. Okay. On
Yeah, yeah.
collab, this does not work. So I also searched a lot of places, and then I got this that actually there is a collab Turtle, but that has to be
Oh,
installed separately. So, like I showed earlier, we had to install it before using, like this pip3 install collab Turtle, like this.
oh, okay,
Pip
thanks, sir.
using pip function, you install collab turtle. This is slightly different than the normal turtle we are using, turtle library we are using. Okay.
Oh, so we cannot use a normal turtle in collab, right?
Yeah. Like this
Okay,
function
thank you.
is same. It is just a modified version of normal turtle.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So
The
yeah.
collab with
And
other functions.
yes, Saroj, what you are saying. Hello, I am not able to hear you. Saroj, can you
Yes, sir.
repeat
In
again?
the collab, is there any other functions?
Yes, there are. In collab, there are less functions, you can say, because this is uh, like Colab and Jupyter are not generally meant for graphics and these things. They are just for data kind of things, AI and data kind of things. So they are not much concerned about this. Plot and these things also does not work much better here. Okay, but those who want mobility, like their code has to be checked in fragments, as well as they want that it is kept in the cloud, and they are not using a lot of resources in their computer, or someone is on mobile. In that case, it can be helpful. That is why I prefer Colab, because everyone in this class may not be having full-fledged system, and that is why using Colab is easier for everyone. That's why I prefer this. Otherwise, ID is much more powerful, you can say. And
Yes, sir. Even I am started using collab, sir,
yeah,
because we have to create a file and we have to
yeah,
like create a new environment and those things in. We have to manage those things in IDE. So
yes,
collab is really useful.
yeah.
Comes in handy, sir.
It comes in handy, as well as for us, like who are using many system, or you can say in that case it is saved also. right?
Yeah, it is
Like it is saved in the cloud.
Google Drive. Yeah, it is saved in
Yes.
Google. So we
Yeah.
can
So
access
in
it from any
yes,
device.
any device you can. In fact, for this Carnet and these things also, I'm using directly from the Google Drive itself. I made it
Oh,
earlier and
okay.
I can access it directly anywhere. That is the only
Yeah, that's
advantage,
nice.
nothing else.
Yeah, that's nice, sir.
Okay. So I think this is the correct answer, right? So we can say hexagon with mm, with alternate sides visible, right? Now let's come to our next question. Which not title, wait, which turtle uh, command is equivalent to lifting up a pen? Just yeah. Anyone? I think I have already answered it a bit earlier.
Yes, sir. I know, but I want to give a chance to students,
Yeah,
other students.
yeah,
B option.
the option, right? That is pen up, like we did in the previous program. Here, where,
Yes, option B will
where
be
we
help.
were doing pen up and pen down. So this is something quite handy in case you want a non-continuous program. But generally, when the turtle was uh, designed, it was meant for very small kids, and still it is by many tutors. It is still used to teach basic graphics kind of thing or basic understanding of the programming to kids of smaller age, like 4, 5, and these things. So for them, it is very intuitive, like how the code works, how moving forward, how turning, and these things work. So pen up, pen down, and these things are quite easy for them, and that is why you see in the Turtle library, it is it uses very common terminologies. Okay, so pen up and pen down. These are two important things which are generally used. Hide turtle, and these things are there. Okay, so pen up is the right answer.
Got it,
What
sir.
is what is the use of functions? We have been using functions, okay, a lot. In fact, from previous many weeks. But what is the use of functions? In fact, we have discussed this also. So first option is to
And
improve
option D will
readability.
be the correct answer.
D will be the correct answer. That is to improve readability, to reuse code blocks for the ease of code debugging, and all of the above. And can anyone tell what is debugging?
Sir, when error rises or there are different types of error that comes like a syntax error or compiling like data types. When we try to add a string and number, then that will be a data type error, and there are different types of error. So, like rectifying those errors with changing the already existing code is called debugging. That's
Debugging,
not
yes.
official.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
not
I
the
tried.
official term.
I gave the idea.
Yes, yes. So generally, in case of coding, we call errors as bugs, right? Like you can say when you write a very big program, very big code, and there are a small errors that those are generally termed as bug. And when you try to remove that code one by one, that is called debugging. And mainly, like this is one very important step that certainly a code is not expected, and you might have seen even in case of anyone, even if you are an expert, you you are not sure to have a code 100% correct in one go. It is not always expected. Like this, like in many undergraduate programs, it is expected that you write code on paper, like on using pen and paper, and that should run directly. But generally, in case of practical application, this is not always the case. There can still be some errors, and you always have some option to change it, correct it, as well as to check the errors. So,
Yes, sir.
debugging is an important part of coding. Okay, and if you are using some part of some codes again and again, and if you have an error in that part, that error will be repeated throughout the program. And if you are not using a function, you will have to correct it at every point in the program, which will take time as well as again lead to some errors. So it is better to have correction at one point, that is inside the function, and use calling the function at different points. Okay, so this is also one of the advantages of using function. The other one is reusing, like one code, and if you have to use multiple times, you don't have to write the same thing again and again. You just call it with a name, and it is done. Okay, improve readability. Like in that code, it will not be junked by the same code. In fact, using a function does not actually improve the speed or decrease the speed. It is almost the same only. It is just that it is referenced. Okay, so it will be all of the above. Any other things anyone can add? Like what are other advantages of using function?
Um, to reduce the number of lines that
Yes,
that are required to complete a program.
yes. And someone has asked me to explain code complexity, right? Uh, which we will be discussing in the next class. So, in fact, it reduces complexity of the code also.
Sir, it will increase the speed of program.
How?
So I
How it will
think
increase? No, as per my understanding, it will not increase. The reason is that still the same amount of codes will run, even though it will be running by a reference, but still the same amount of codes will run. And in some cases, it even can reduce a bit, but it is all about how well you are coding. It can reduce the speed in the sense that if in the like if you have a program where 10 or 15 times a specific function is being used, but in that in 5 times actually there was some part that is actually not needed, but still that will run because that function is there. Okay, and that is why sometimes functions are also like big functions are not preferred. Functions are also made in like combination of two, three functions. Like there is one function which is for smaller part, other function for smaller part, and then we call two of them together using another function. This is also done. Okay, so it will not increase the speed.
okay, sir.
Okay,
And
it will instead.
I want to add a point to
Yes,
the
yes,
functions. Like we can also use recursion programming using function. Without a
yes,
function, I think we cannot use
yes.
recursion.
We cannot use function. Yes, we and that recursion can be done. Any other points anyone can add? Anyone?
I don't know if I want to add this point, but the
Yeah.
return statement can only be used inside a function. Like we
Mm.
cannot use elsewhere. We can use
Yes.
a break statement instead, but a return statement can only be used inside a
Yes.
function.
Return is something that we use in case of in functions only. Yes.
Yeah.
But in many other programming languages, in fact, the main program itself is considered a function, like in
Yeah.
C and
Yeah.
this, and their
Object
return is
oriented.
used. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
their return is used.
Sir,
Anyone else? Yes. Yes.
sir, since function is defined by us, so we can name it according to us. So we can make it as intuitive as possible. So this is
Yeah.
one.
So we can say the ease of understanding, right? Or improve readability, right? Any any other? I am waiting for one more point. In fact, that no one has yet, like no one has yet touched.
Um, we can use like we can actually change the actually defined function we can call the add function, which is an inbuilt function in
Mhm.
Python, and we can actually change the parameters that we pass. Like it is a concept of method overriding, I think. Like
Yes, yes,
change, yeah, we can change the
you can change.
um, inbuilt functionalities.
Yeah, but generally not preferred until
Not for
unless it is
yeah.
quite necessary. Yeah. One more point. Like
So function can decompose problems into sub problems.
yes, that is fine. That is the code reusability. Something we have been using consistently in the previous weeks. In fact, today also we have used. You know, let me ask some people. Yeah, Anik, are you there?
Sir?
No, Anik
Yeah.
Mandal is
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Vivek, are you there? Can you add up Vivek Thakur? Thank you. I'm not able to hear you. Okay. Okay. So let me put that for you. We can create custom libraries if we have functions. Okay. We can put many functions inside one single file and we can use it as a custom library.
So we can
Yes,
create
exactly.
user-defined function.
Yes, function is user defined only, right? So we can create custom libraries.
Yes, sir. I got it,
Yeah,
sir.
got it, right? And this is very useful, especially when you are in an organization or where some common set of functions are being used. Okay, so
Yeah,
like
in a big project, it will be really helpful.
yes, in big projects where you are using a common set of function again and again, and multiple persons are working on it. One person creates a library and shares it with all other colleagues, and the single library can be used with by everyone. Okay, especially when you are going for something like you can say when you are enforcing that these sets will be used so that all of those codes can be clubbed together very easily. Okay, so these are something. In fact, all the libraries that are defined like this one. Okay, turtle and these things have come up because there are functions available. Functions has been created and put in a library called turtle, and now it works. Okay, so all of above plus many more. Okay, correct. Now, what is the library used to import music images? Music images, not images. It is,
Pillow library, pillow image library, sir.
yeah,
PIL.
yeah,
Yes.
PIL, yeah.
So what's the full form of PIL?
Uh, I think Adil said it, right?
Yes, sir. Pillow image library.
It is below image library.
Okay, sir.
So in the video, there was something called. Sir was discussing about snake and ladder game. What can be the way to track ladders and snakes? One, maintain a dictionary with snakes or ladder number blocks as keys. Like we have this whole board 1 till 100, and then we mention at 1 there is nothing, 2 nothing, 3 nothing, 4 there is a snake. Okay, and then 5 there is ladder, such things. Okay,
So both can be used.
both can be used if condition to check for everyone. But which one will be easier?
Maintain a dictionary.
Dictionary.
A dictionary will be easier because we will have references instead of going into so many loops. Okay, so we can say both A and B. That is, we can either go with a dictionary for snake and ladder number blocks as key, or if condition to check on every number. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to some programming assignments. Given a square matrix M, like a matrix M, where we have to write a function diag, that is full form, short form for diagonal calculation, which calculates the sum of left and right hand diagonals. Left hand means if there is a matrix like this, the left hand diagonal will be this one, the right hand diagonal will be this one. Okay, so it calculates the left and right hand diagonal. So it calculates the sum of all the numbers falling in this line as well as the sum of numbers falling in this line and gives the output. Like if there is a matrix M with 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it is equivalent to something like a matrix 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it will sum up this 1, 4, 8. So what is the total of this? That is correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the first output will be 13 and the second should be 3 plus 4 plus 6. That is actually again the same, equal to 7 plus 6 equals to 30. Okay, even if it was 7 here, it should give uh, that is 14. Okay, so this is something. So how can we do this?
Sir, we can solve this using only two loops,
Yes.
using a while loop, and one is to calculate simultaneously we are calculating right and left diagonal. We are accessing the first row first element and last element.
Yes.
So the second row, second element and second element, and the third row for first element and third element. And we are adding to the corresponding variable.
Mhm.
Um, I think I can code it. Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Let's try coding. So let's say def.
We can use for loops and easily solve it, but I want to just do it in a two loops so it will be efficient, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's try.
Okay.
Where is
List is equal. So can I say and
yeah, please. But I don't
list
know why. Just a minute. Why is it not actually typing? Let's call it.
sir? Can I say it?
Yes, 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 please.
List is equal. First we will take a list.
Okay,
L is equal to
just a minute.
that.
This is not
I think the
working.
keyboard is not popping up.
Yes, yes, that is the issue. Yes. Mhm. So, what inputs we will give?
So only a list.
Only a list, right? And we can calculate the other things here.
Yes, sir.
List, or it's better to write something like help. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's getting. Yeah. Then,
And I want to create a maximum of like list length. So m is equal to length of list.
m equals to length of list. Or let's
Yes, sir.
write it row and column, right? That will be
Yeah,
much
yeah,
easier
yeah.
for
That
us.
will make sense. That will make more
Yeah.
sense.
Equals to len of L, right? Then
Yes,
what
sir.
will we do? How will
Then
we find
we
column?
will type uh,
How will we
column.
column number?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to take a um, list of 0, 0. Just a minute, sir. Just a second. 0,
So I
0,
have
1,
another
0,
code.
1, 0.
Yes, Saroj. Please ask.
So after writing diagonal, then I slicing the list, which you mentioned in the L.
Slicing the list in
Sir,
the sense.
it have to be
Yes.
a like a square matrix, right? So we can just give the column value as a row value. So column is also is equal to row.
Mm, But
Is
what if it is something different? Like, yeah, generally it has to be square matrix.
square matrix.
Yeah.
Um, L of 0,
Yes.
0 will go that way. So we have to come with a for loop to.
Something like this will work. L of 0, because since it will be a two-dimensional array.
Sir, I think it
Yeah.
should be Look,
Yes, sir. Yes, yes,
I think
Suresh.
I think it must be a square matrix because otherwise diagonal sum of diagonal elements will not be defined. So we
Yes.
can
So
just take
ac-
and instead of row
actually,
and
we will have to check if row number equals to column number, then we proceed. Otherwise, we stop. Right? Yes,
yes.
Dr. Anand, you have some question.
Actually, sir, in this programming problem in the current session, the third program, there is a while submission, all test cases are passed. While after, sorry, while compiling, all test cases are passed. While submitting,
Hmm.
it will be getting two test cases are wrong.
Mm, this should not generally happen. But if this
Yeah,
is happening, you just post this in the discussion forum.
yeah,
Some course you will take care of
yeah.
it.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
question
now
You,
is
we now
eighth assignment, one eighth or ninth assignment,
So
one
why chat
question is
section
answered
is
by
not working?
yeah, Saroj, what you were saying?
The chat section is not working.
Yes, chat is disabled since I cannot see chat during the class.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
so we will create a while loop.
Yes.
Uh, Before that,
First,
we
we
will
need to,
initialize.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
uh, like what according to me is that uh, we must check whether row number and column number are same or right. First thing,
yes sir, yes, sir.
if row
Because it have to be a square matrix.
square matrix, right? Column, then we proceed. Okay, and then what we do is that we create something called what other
Um,
you were saying.
I is equal to 0, and we will create a while loop, and we will increment it by 1 in every
Uh,
iteration.
iteration. Okay, I is equal to 0. Then
While
while
I is less than m, okay, row,
based on row. Yeah.
and we will increment it by 1.
One at the end we can do that, but first we will have to have two variables, and I think if we create that variable here
Yes
itself,
sir.
that is uh, one is sum left
Some left. Yeah,
equals to 0, and sum sum right
is equal to 0.
is equal
Now
to
some right,
0.
some left is equal to
Yeah,
some left plus L of I. I.
plus
Some left is
L,
equal to L of
and
I.
L of square bracket I, then
Square
square
bracket
bracket I,
I
right?
and square bracket I.
Yeah. Okay. Like this or after this?
Um, yes, sir. Inside it, I, sir. Now we
Okay.
got
Then
a left sum. Now simultaneously, I want to also calculate a right sum also. So we will create another variable which is comes from
some right.
uh, sum right. So instead of I, we have to use another variable like j. So we have to initialize it um,
Mm,
before this like before this while loop. So j is equal to also
okay.
j is equal
And
to
uh,
Can also be
row
done taking two for loops.
two for loops
yeah.
also.
Also
Yes,
we
it
can
will.
come from row.
Yes, we can come from row minus I.
Uh,
Will that work?
yeah, row minus I. That will make sense. Yes.
Yeah. From right plus equals to L. Same thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can say row, or we can even create one variable called. Or fine, let's put it. We are going to use it at two places only, right? Row
Yes, sir.
minus
I of row minus I.
Yeah,
Um,
I of row minus I. Yeah, correct. Or in fact, we can even use -1 multiplied by I. That will make it
yeah,
opposite.
yeah, minus O because that will create a minus index.
Yes,
That
minus
will
1
also work.
multiplied by I. Fine for everyone?
Yes, sir. Because if from a top on a zeroth list, we will come from last element. So -2, and we will come to -1
Mm,
and 0.
yeah.
It will work
But here,
perfect.
there will be a problem
We have
because I is 0. Multiplying it with -1 will make it still 0.
sir.
So we will, if I
I
is
couldn't
0,
understand you.
yeah,
Yes,
in
sir.
line 10, you see, if I is 0, which
Yes,
is
sir.
the first case,
Yes, sir.
multiplying multiplying 0 with -1 will still give us 0 1.
Uh, yeah, that's why I said like we have to create another variable outside the uh, outside the while loop. J is equal to 0, and we will give that um, give that the maximum length of
Yeah, we can
not
either create
uh,
j equals to -1 multiplied by I plus 1, or we can create j equals to rho minus I.
so
Both will.
it have to be 2, sir. So length of a row. So row has that length, sir. So we can use that. We can delete those two on the top before the if state. Oh, okay. Leave that way. Before, like after that, I is equal to 0, we will initialize another variable j is equal to.
Let's put this. I think this will work. So column minus I. Will this work? Because we are going for the
Uh,
column this time, not row.
to
Actually, using
1.
row.
Yeah, it will work,
Yeah.
sir. It will work. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like before we have, like I want to just create another variable to store this and track this, sir.
Mm.
We can
It's fine.
also do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Row plus equal, or we are increasing I or I, right?
I is equal to I plus
I
1.
plus equals to 1, right?
Yes, sir.
And then at the end, we will, let's print
Print
here.
both
Let's
of.
not return. Yeah. Let's print from left and then right. And then let's call this function. Mm, Let's see whether it will work or not. Mm, We have also not put one thing, that is else if row and column numbers are not equal, else we have to print not a square matrix, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And let's put here else.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, len of L of 0 means how we will get the column size, sir? L of 0 means here
L of 0, if you see this one, L of 0 will
starting.
be 1, 2, 3. In the line 18, that is our input, right? Let's understand with this.
Okay,
L
sir.
of 0 will be when we are going with one dimensions, first element, that is L0 will be 1, 2, 3. This itself is a list, right?
Okay, sir.
And then it will take the length of this. So uh, it will calculate it as 3, right? So this will actually give us the number of columns.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. You can take for anyone. In fact, you can take L2, L3, but at least there will be one element, right, in a
Okay, sir.
matrix. That is
Okay,
why
sir.
I'm taking L0. It's not
Okay, sir.
necessary to be L0.
Okay, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Index out. Index out. Understand. Index out of
Right.
range.
Yes, sir. List index out of range.
Mhm. Okay,
Mm,
column minus I. Yeah, this will not work if we are
okay, the column will be first of all 2. So 2 minus 0 is 2, which will
col
um.
column is no, column is 3 minus 0. Okay, here there is an issue.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
There will be minus 1
So we
also,
have
another
to
minus 1.
come from, yeah,
Yeah.
minus, like us. We can give a parenthesis and we can minus 1.
Yeah.
Also, this also
See,
works
yeah,
if we want to more
yeah.
readability. Yeah.
So, yeah. So it is 1, 5, 9. So 5 plus 1, that is 6 plus 9, that is 15, right? 3, 5, 6. So 3 plus 5, that is 8. 8 plus 6, that is 13, 14, right? So this is correct. Or is it correct or wrong?
6. I think both of them should be 13, right? So
No,
1
in this
plus
case,
5.
uh,
So 1 plus 5 plus 9. Okay, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have changed the numbers. They are
Thought
not
I.
the same.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyone with
It's correct.
some doubt in this or some
No.
suggestions? Suggestions are also like welcome. So please try to suggest some changes, suggest that something else if you have in mind. Now let's try it with something bigger because for 3 by 3 it's fine. And let's try for both the cases. Uh, First one is when we are not giving a square matrix. Let's put not a square matrix case in this case. Okay. So it is even showing not a square matrix. And what if we convert it into a square matrix? Is this correct? Can anyone check? 1, 5, 9, 9. 1, 5, that will be 6. 9 plus 9, that is 18 plus 20.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, right hand side, 5, 6, 7, 3. So is it correct? 6 plus 7, that is 13. And 5 plus 3, that is 8. That 13 plus 8, that is 21. So, fine. Now let's come to our next question problem. So we have got a way how to do it. And even that for loop thing, 2 for loops will also work fine. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now
But
let's,
this is most efficient and
yes, it looks, in
yes,
fact,
sir.
we are using
In
less number of
performance,
codes here.
yes, sir. In a big number, like when we give a big square matrix, it will outperform those two loops, like
Yes.
using two for loops.
Yes. And in fact,
Yes,
then we will have, when we are using 2 for loops and we have a big matrix, there will be some delay in both the results, between both the results.
yes, sir.
Here we are getting both the results at the same time. And that will be
Yes,
using more time, almost double the time, because it will be looping
yes,
twice. Okay.
yes,
Now
sir.
we
It
have
will take time.
a matrix M of M cross N. Okay, M cross N. Let's this should be small. It has like M cross N or 3 cross 4, something like that. Write a function transpose that accepts a matrix M and returns the transpose of M. To make it clear, transpose is something like where row becomes the column and column becomes the row. Something like this. If the matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So it will be like from the diagonal if you flip it, something like this. Okay. So it will become like 1, 4, 7, then 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. So how can we do this?
So we can use um, for loops for this. Like first of all, we get the we will like create a new list, and we will go with the same procedure that we used to, like when we type a input it will create a matrix, right? So we have to use that same method, but instead of entering inputs, we take inputs from the already existing matrix. In a
Yes.
way, first it will takes 0 0, and instead of going to 1 0, we will go to 0 1. So the row should be constant in a like a for in a first for loop, and in the second for loop it have to be, the column have to be changed
Yes.
iteratively. So
Yeah. So
0
let's
0
try this.
0 1.
Uh,
Yes,
let's
sir.
try this. Yeah. Let's. I will be using some part of this code. Let's copy this one for now. Okay. So we are going to create it as transpose. And certainly here, this transpose also works in square matrix only.
um like we can also transpose a non-square matrix too, sir. Like 2 cross 3, if there are 2 rows and 3 columns, then we can
Mhm.
transpose that to 2 cross 3 cross 2, sir.
Yes.
So it
So
will work.
certain, yeah, we will not need to check for this square thing, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this have to be. So we don't need this, but we will need the column number and row, right?
Sorry, sir, I couldn't get you, sir.
We will need to find the row total number of rows and columns,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So let's start with finding that, and then oh, sorry. Then what we can do is that once we have the row and the columns, we have to flip it, right? So before that, let's create another matrix M equals to, let's put it like this. A two-dimensional matrix with nothing inside it.
Um, I think I don't like I never created a we can just create a new like the inside the inside list is another list, right? So we
Yes,
can just
yes,
create in every iteration and we can append that whole list
yes,
to
we can
already
do that
existing.
also. Yeah, that will
Yeah.
be even fine. We can create one
One matrix and
like this. Yeah,
I don't
and
I didn't ever use this, but I don't know if it works or not, sir. I'm
it
sorry
will
if
work.
it works, sir.
It will work, but yeah, that is also fine. In that case, we will need one more variable, and still it will work
Oh,
fine. Not an issue. But it will be easier to append in this case.
oh, okay, sir.
In case you are using different variable. Okay. Then what we will do is that just like we did earlier, while
Yes, sir.
I is less than row. Yes, what you are saying.
Um, less than first we have to go with columns, sir. Like we can use for loop for this program, so it will be more easier to
Easier.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's put for
For I in column range column, and then we
remove
will
this.
go with row. Yeah, we will delete this.
Yeah, we will need to, okay. So we need first, uh, like in case of transpose, this row has to be converted with columns, right?
Yes, sir.
First row will contain all the parts of column. So yeah, we will
So
need
now we
the
will
row
create a
number.
for j
Yeah,
in
yeah.
range
For
row.
J, yeah, J in range row.
Row now we will
Let's create one more list, which we will.
yeah before
Let's
the yes, sir. Inside that for I in range column, inside that column,
yeah, we
yeah,
will
column,
add n
we have to create
next.
a new list.
Yeah,
Because in every
equal
iteration inside a j, it will be create a new, yeah, n dot append. So we have to keep changing the row. So we have to um, m of j and I.
m of j and I didn't get this one.
Yes, sir. We have to keep that um, row changing, sir, like from 0 to 1 and 2, and we have to keep that uh, column
So it will
like
be
0.
L of j and I, right? Or m of j and I.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I thought the matrix is in M. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So once this is done, then we will put m dot append
Append n.
and then at the end we are returning return and so 1463 2
Yes, sir.
5
It works, sir.
7 5. Okay, so it is working. Any
Yes, sir.
doubts in this? Anyone?
Try it for non-square matrix.
Okay, let's try it for non-square matrix. Let's just remove. Right? Just, it is still working.
Yes, sir. It worked. 3 cross 4. Now 4 cross 3.
Yeah. So the dimensions will also actually reverse.
Yes, sir.
Fine with everyone? Okay. So now we come to one
We
last
can
question.
create an empty matrix and directly add to the elements.
Yes, we can directly. In fact, that is what I was doing earlier also. Earlier that I was creating a two-dimensional matrix, right? And in fact, creating instead of creating two-dimensional matrix, even if you are doing like this, what you can do is that uh, m dot append. Instead of append, you will have to insert it at specific positions. Okay.
Like mj equal to like
Yeah.
lij.
Yes. Yes. You will have to put those indexes. mji equals to l. You can put yeah. You can that is also fine. Let's put like this.
Oh, okay. I also got it, sir. Like m of I dot append and l of I.
Instead of
That's right.
yeah, it will be something like m
M of I
square matrix I
dot append.
and then
Um,
no need of append here. Mm, let's see this works or not because some range might even be outside. That's why. Let's see this works.
it will create
But
a list.
initially we create a list M, no? We had to create an empty matrix.
Uh, yeah, this one in line 4 you are saying
Yes, sir.
like
But
this.
there have to be a element like 0 or something,
Yeah.
or it will create a list out of a range.
Yeah. This what we can do is that we can create that many number of zeros.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is something that is commonly done called as pre-allocation when we are dealing with a large number of data. Just, okay, so Greshma, you were you have suggested this, right? So
Yes.
this will work fine, but what we will have to do is that we will first have to create a matrix uh, that is having exactly the opposite number of rows and columns. Okay, so how can you do that?
I have done like this. M equal to then square matrix 0
Hmm,
for x in range of n, then close
hmm,
the square bracket, then for y in range of n.
hmm.
Like n means first one is row, then next is column.
Yes. So what is generally done here is that it will be something like this. Here the length will be row will become the column and column will become the row. Okay. So what we can do is that square matrix, and then this square matrix, uh, 0
for x.
multiplication. Okay. And instead of like inside, it will not be columns in this case, it will be row in this case. So it will be inside row. Okay, that many zeros, and this one, this whole thing multiplied by number of, okay, and this will work. This is still not creating this 3 6. Okay, this is exactly the opposite.
I think zero multiplication
Yeah,
into column and
yeah, I will show you
because
what happens here. Print, and I think this index in line 8 there is some small problem. Otherwise, yeah. So you see, this is exactly what is being made. What it does is that when you are putting a 0 with in a list multiplied by row, so it will create that many a list containing that many number of zeros. This is to create zeros or ones like this. We create an empty list like this. Okay, line 4, everyone is understanding?
yes, sir, got it, sir.
Good, right. Now the problem here is in index and nothing else. Okay, so in this case, what is happening is that the same thing is being written again and again, and that is the last. It is being overwritten. And why is it being overwritten here?
Think um
Here we will have to put something like mm, the row number becomes the column number and column number becomes the row number, right? So it should be working fine. Okay. First, we will iterate through column. Okay, so this was fine. Column. Then we iterate through row. But there is some problem with the indexing here. Can anyone find?
sir, I think the L of I, J and I, if we print inside the, like if we print in every
Yeah,
iteration
then
what is L of I, then we can understand
yes, we can
what's
understand
happening
that.
then.
Let's put print. Let's put print n only, so we will be able to see what is happening in every step.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So first it is fine, but in second
Okay.
step everything is overwritten. Okay,
Yeah,
since it
yeah,
is
yeah.
looping through the whole thing. Okay,
I think
we
M of J and I will work, sir.
m of j and I
Yes, sir. Yeah,
equals
yeah.
to L of j and I. Still, it will be the same thing. It will overwrite every time.
Yeah, M of J, which is a column.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Anyone else have any idea on this? Grishma? It is working fine, but it is actually overwriting the whole thing. Yes, yes, Nehal.
Sir, when we are initializing all the elements to 0, we have to use two
Mhm.
different for loops. Otherwise, like the at least one different for loop. Otherwise, like that one sublist is getting copied three times, and since they are all related, so they're getting
So,
changed all
so in line, in which
together.
line this problem is happening?
Line 4,
Line four,
we have to at least
initialization.
put one for
yes, sir.
loop.
I could understand
Yes,
what
sir.
he's saying. Like
But
because we are
yeah,
creating a list and we are multiplying it by three or like any number of columns, right? So that
mm,
one list changes, the other one also changes. Like
no,
the,
it's not like that.
oh, okay.
So can we slice it with step operator plus 2?
Step operator plus two. I didn't get you what you are saying. Like, can you explain it in some
Yes, sir.
simpler way?
So what I get from the depth transpose,
Yeah,
if I assigned into the another variable, then I transport, then I slice it, it will
slicing in
work.
the sense, slicing in the sense I am not getting how you will slice it. Like, what will be the advantage of slicing here?
No, sir, it will not. I think.
No, it is fine. You can like I am not able to understand what you are saying. Try to explain it a bit. Anyone? So what is happening here is that
Sir, if I take a variable, then assign the value which returned the transpose function,
Mhm.
then it is also a list. Then I slice it.
uh, let me allow. Can you type it in the chat? Let me allow for some time.
Okay, sir.
Wait, try this thing. Okay. Can you send it in the chat? Anyone? Anyone else with some solution for this?
Sir, I tried it in my computer. I just
Okay.
coded the same.
Mhm.
Sir, it is true that like when we create one list and and multiply it by any number of times, the same list, like if we change the one element in one list, the all list will change the same
No,
element.
line 4
Because
is fine. Like if uh, after line
yes
4,
sir.
let's do this. Let's do this. That
Okay.
I assign m uh, square bracket 0, and then again square bracket 0. The first element, I'm
Okay.
replacing it with some other element. Let's say 4.
Sir, I have
Okay.
sent a replacement code in the chat. Can you just
Mm,
replace line 4 with those 3 lines of code? I think it will work. It worked on my device.
okay.
Just replacement of line 4.
Line 4. Okay. Yeah, you are creating it like this. Yes, this is fine. M
Sir,
equals
if
to
we like you have written that m of 0 is equal to 4,
mm,
but it is overriding in this iteration, right? So in this transpose
yes.
operation, right?
So
So we have to
yeah,
give it below the.
let's do one thing. Then what you can do is that let's create it as something like, let's put n,
Okay.
mm, then m equals to n equals to list. Since it is already a list, even its conversion will not affect us, right? But still, it is still working like the same.
Yes, sir. We could try putting m of 0 0 is equal to 4 in after this operation, and we
Yeah.
can see in all the lists in the list on the
Mm.
same element will be changed to 4, sir.
Yes, same. It is changing. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So initialization will actually have to be done another way. But actually, this used to work fine. Let me check.
So can you check the chat box? Actually, I have initialized a matrix like this way.
Okay, using n equals to len a. Okay, len a. What is a here?
Matrix.
Matrix. Okay, so instead of L, you are taking okay, and n1 equals to len a of okay, r equals to 0 for x and range. Yes, this way also works.
But
We
we
can
are
even
using
create.
a lot of computation, sir.
Yes, in this case, it is actually a lot of things are being. You can
I
say
think we
that's
can eliminate this problem using deep copy, sir, because we are just copying. So copying a list to another list, and we change a
yes,
original list element. The then that effect will be also reflect in
yeah.
the
In
copied
fact,
list.
appending is the best way that we
Yes,
did
sir. Appending is
earlier,
the best
right?
way. To do this in this way, we have to import a copy, and we have to import a
Yes,
module function called deep copy, and we can do this the same method.
yes. Same thing. Yes, but let's try what Greshma has suggested, and in fact, this
Okay.
should work fine. But
Okay.
generally, when we initialize, uh, this should not happen that everything is changing. There is some problem. I will check actually what is happening here, because everything should not change. That is not the way when we do. Some either I am doing it some wrong way. Okay. And so in case instead of n1, what will be here, Gasmo?
It's
In
called
our case,
COL.
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 Yeah. Okay, and then uh, y in range row. Okay. and this whole thing has to be inside a square
Square
metric.
metric.
Okay, let's why is it out of index? Okay, no, we need the opposite one. Inside we will have number, like ideally we have columns, but here we are creating the
Change the
uh,
order.
order. Yeah, so it will be row for us. Okay, and column. Okay, generally when we look on the code, so in this case it is working fine for us, but uh, here it will actually uh, in this case actually we are uh, pre-assigning. Okay, so in it has one advantage as well as one disadvantage. One advantage is here is that we are not like when you have a large data. Okay, so it is best to allocate the space, the full space for your data, and then change it. Okay, this is something that is preferred in case of computations generally. This that is called pre-allocation, and this is really helpful. But then there is another disadvantage also, that actually we are assigning it two times. Okay, we are creating a variable of the full length, and then we are changing it one by one. Okay, and uh, the upper one is we have one list that is empty, and then we are adding things as we keep going further. Okay, both have advantage as well as disadvantage. The first one is that for the program, it does not know how much resource it needs to need to be allocated at first. Okay, and in the second way, there will be some extra allocation, like you can say some extra work will have to be done. Okay, so you will have to decide uh, which one to go. Okay, generally when you are working with language, not language, I can say tools like MATLAB, Mathematica, and these things, they always like it is always preferred to go for pre-allocation. And when you are going for uh, data science, like data science based problems, there you should go for pre-allocation. Like we went for this in the second code. But in general cases, we generally go with this one where we have empty list and we keep on increasing the size. Okay, and both of them are correct. And in fact, that zero like multiplied by row, that also works. I will check what was the error. I am doing something wrong. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any doubts till here?
No, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today. Any more questions? If you have, you can ask. Okay. So thank you all. See you all in the next one.
Thank you, sir.